what's up? My name's Samuel Leeds, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about something very important for property investors, specifically if you are buying houses or controlling houses that are HMOs. This is about how are the utility prices that are going up right now. Gas, electric, everything's going up. How's that going to affect HMOs? I've got a lot to say on this topic, but I'm going to keep this super brief because I'm kind of annoyed at all the nonsense that I'm hearing on social media. Because this is what the narrative is at the moment. Everyone's saying, oh, utility prices are going up. How are people going to afford to do rent to HMO anymore? Because if your business model is renting a house, breaking it up room by room, and then renting it out on a room by room basis, and that's how you get paid, you have to pay the bills. Because part of the service for the new tenants is that you're paying the bills. And if bills are going up, then it's going to eat out of your profit. HMOs aren't very profitable anymore. HMOs are going to die. Rent to HMOs dead. That is the most moronic, ridiculously flawed thing I've ever heard. And let me explain why in this video. Okay, a few reasons. Number one, this is the stupidity of it. Because if something goes up in price, right? Like for instance, if petrol goes up. If petrol goes up in price, okay, do you go, oh my gosh, how are the petrol stations going to afford to make profit? Because it's more expensive for them to get petrol. But what do? They just put the price up of petrol, right? If wood goes up, timber has gone up a lot the last few years. The price of timber. To get timber is expensive. Not just for us, but for the people that supply the wood. So if the cost of wood goes up, what happens? They just put the cost of wood up. And in the same way, if you've got a property and you're renting it out and you're including the bills, you're renting a room out and as part of the service, you're including the utility bills, and utility bills go up, what are you going to do? You're just going to put the price of the room rent up. I don't see what the big deal is. It's absolutely crazy. In fact, let me prove what I'm saying. If you go on spareroom.co.uk right now, spareroom.co.uk is a website where people advertise their rooms. If you look in any city, you go to Liverpool, Manchester, Birmingham, London, Edinburgh, right? And you type in rooms available in such and such a city. Okay, if you do that on Spare Room, room rents have gone through the roof in the last 6 months. A year ago, the average room was about £350, £400. You know, I know because I've got loads of HMOs. The average room rent was maybe £400 a month. Now, do it. Go to spareroom.co.uk and just look at how much people are demanding for the price of a room rental. It's like £500 to £600 per month, even in cities like freaking Stoke-on-Trent, where you can buy houses for 60 grand. And they're charging like 500, sometimes even £600 a month. Go on Spare Room and look at rooms wanted and see how much people are prepared to pay for a room. £500, £600 a month, even in cheap dump hole cities. So what's happening is as cost of living and as utility prices are going up, people that are providing a room with utilities included are just increasing their room rents. So no, people with HMOs are not going to be screwed. People that do rent to HMOs are not going to be screwed. In fact, let me explain something even more interesting. We are entering right now into a recession. Recession is when people don't have money. They're struggling financially. A recession is either the banks run out of money, they stop lending, the people run out of money, or fear of one of the above. So right now, people are tight financially. We're entering into a recession. When people can't afford things, when people are struggling financially, what do? I'll tell you what they do. They downsize, right? If you're in an apartment or a house and you're struggling to pay the rent, which people are right now, because rents are going up like crazy, house prices are going up, utility prices are going up, everything's going up apart from wages, what are staying the same. These people, what do? They go, oh man, maybe I'll rent a room instead. So in recessions, in tough times, prices for rooms go up in value. Now, some people in the comments right now are going to say, oh, that's really bad. You're exploiting the situation. No, this is called supply and demand. Every business has a willing buyer and a willing seller. You will charge for rooms. This is why I love capitalism so much. People say it's not right that people own houses and rent them out. Those people that say that are morons. What's the other option? That the government own all the houses? And if the government own all the houses, we still have to pay rent to the government. How much rent do we pay? Whatever they demand. With capitalism and with landlords and with recessions and with what I'm talking about, which is buying houses, individual landlords, you can't charge whatever you want. You can only charge what people are prepared to pay. And if you're charging too much, someone else will undercut you. It's a free market. It's a fair market. So if you're one of those people that say, oh, Samuel, you're exploiting the housing crisis, you're a moron. Because we're not exploiting the housing crisis. We are providing what people want, namely affordable accommodation. So what do I think about the utility prices? I haven't got an opinion on it. But I'll tell you something factual. It's going to make people want to rent rooms more. So instead of buying a house and renting it out, you're much better off to buy a house and rent it out room by room. Pay the utilities once on the house and then charge 5 people for the utilities. And they'll pay a premium because they know how expensive utilities are and because people will be queuing up for your rooms because they can't afford to rent a whole house and pay for the bills on top. So they'll be desperate to rent rooms, they'll need rooms, and you will ethically give them what they want, which is rooms. That's how you make money in property. That's what's going to happen with the utility prices going up. That's how it's going to affect HMOs, and that's how it is and has affected HMOs. Just go spare room.